Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 279 based on novel. So let's start. As the ripples spread, Wang Lin walked out calmly. He didn't even look at the young man in blue, he only looked at Lei Ji's injuries and the big-headed boy, who was at the border of life and death. After he saw the black handprint on the big-headed boy's back, coldness flashed through Wang Lin's eyes. His right hand reached out and he grabbed the big-headed boy. Then his right palm hit the big-headed boy and large amounts of his origin energy entered the big-headed boy's body. The big-headed boy's face turned red and he coughed out a mouthful of black blood. This blood gave off a powerful stench. At this moment, the blue-robed young man was still eating the cherries and his body was leaning back. After eating a cherry, he pointed at Wang Lin and said, "Sun Guzi, you have possessed this giant demon clan body long enough to use your cultivation now. Go kill this person that insulted me." The giant demon clan member beside the youth revealed a respectful expression and said, "As you command." As he spoke, he suddenly turned around and stared at Wang Lin with killing intent. He took a step forward, formed a fist, and closed in with a grin. When he closed in, the big fellow named Sun Guzi's right hand formed a seal and a large ocean appeared under his feet. A big wave formed in the ocean, and it looked like the big fellow arrived riding the wave. "Junior, accept death." As his right hand pressed forward, the ocean seemed to boil and gathered at this right hand. It turned into a sea dragon and charged at Wang Lin with a roar. The moment the sea dragon charged, there was even the smell of the ocean. Wang Lin kept his right hand on the big-headed boy's back and didn't even look at the sea dragon or the big fellow behind it. This big fellow was only at the early stage of Nirvana Scryer. Ignoring Wang Lin's current 5-star Royal Ancient God body, it wouldn't even be difficult for him to kill this big fellow with his origin energy cultivation. Although the giant demon clan members' bodies were strong, they were far too weak compared to the ancient gods' bodies. Wang Lin waved his left hand and a powerful force surged out. This power was invisible, but the moment Wang Lin waved his hand, crackling sounds came from the space between him and the big fellow. It was as if the space between them was going to shatter. This scene caused the eyes of the youth who was about to bite a cherry to narrow, and he couldn't help but pause for a moment. As for the big fellow, just as the sea dragon formed by his spell shot out, it was met with an unimaginable force. The sea dragon trembled and let out a miserable hiss. It was stopped dead in its tracks and was pushed back by this endless force. The scales on its body immediately flaked off and dissipated into water. As the sea dragon was constantly pushed back, it completely dissipated. As for the big fellow, his pupils shrank. He wanted to dodge, but it was too late. When the sea dragon was pushed back, his chest sunk in and he coughed out a large mouthful of blood. Then he quickly retreated. Explosions echoed inside him. Every explosion caused a large amount of blood mist to spray out from his body. It only took several breaths of time for him to become a bloody mess. Horror filled his eyes, and when he saw Wang Lin's left hand reach toward him, he was about to lose his wits. "Young master, save me." The youth in blue's expression became gloomy, then he suddenly stood up and grabbed the stem of a cherry. He squeezed his hands and all the cherries exploded. The countless seeds covered in red liquid shot at Wang Lin. As they flew, the cherry seeds turned into green skulls. Surrounded by the red liquid, the skulls gave off bursts of sharp screams. However, this youth in blue was a step too late. It was as if the giant demon clan man had lost control of his body. Fear filled his eyes and he was pulled toward Wang Lin. He was pulled extremely fast and was next to Wang Lin in an instant. Wang Lin's left hand lightly hit the big fellow. His eyes dimmed and he felt an unimaginable force shaking his body. It actually shook his origin soul out of the body. The moment the origin soul flew out, Wang Lin grabbed it. Wang Lin's hand was like a claw, and no matter how the origin soul struggled, it wasn't able to escape. Wang Lin lifted his foot and kicked the giant demon clan body. The body immediately flew and collided with the green skulls covered in the red liquid. There was a heaven-shaking explosion and the big fellow's body exploded into countless pieces. However, due to the strange suction from the green skulls, instead of the body pieces scattering, they were completely absorbed by the green skulls. All of this sounds slow, but it happened in a flash. From start to end, Wang Lin still had his right hand on the big-headed boy's back. Large amounts of black mist came out from the big-headed body's head. The death aura on the big-headed boy gradually disappeared and was replaced with vitality. "What are you, sir?" The youth in blue's mind was shaken when he saw all of this. He knew that no ordinary cultivator could kill an early-stage Nirvana Scryer cultivator so easily, especially one that had possessed the body of a giant demon clan member. However, no matter how he looked at the person before him, this person was only an early-stage Nirvana Scryer cultivator. Wang Lin didn't answer the youth in blue's question. He raised his right hand and pressed down on the big-headed boy's back once more. When he pressed his hand down this time, traces of distorted mist came out. After his hand landed on the big-headed boy's back, the black handprint unexpectedly moved. Then 5 black soul fragments formed a palm and attempted to devour Wang Lin's hand. Wang Lin's expression was neutral. Bursts of miserable screams that could only be heard with divine sense echoed as the 5 soul fragments died. Endless black gas came out from the back of the big-headed boy. The big-headed boy felt as if his blood flow had reversed and his body trembled violently until he coughed out a large piece of black blood. This black blood immediately melted like a piece of ice and dissipated. All of this only took several breaths of time. Wang Lin withdrew his right hand. Then he coldly looked at the youth in blue and took a step forward. The youth in blue's expression changed greatly. Without his order, the giant demon clan member quickly retreated. Fear filled the eyes of the big fellow. Even though he knew he was a bit stronger than his companions, he was no match for someone who could easily kill his companion, so he had zero will to fight. As he retreated, the youth in blue's expression became gloomy and he shouted, "I'm the corpse sect's inner disciple. This is all a misunderstanding, I hope so won't pursue this matter." As he spoke, his right hand formed a seal and a green gas came out from his body. It quickly entered his right hand, and in the blink of an eye, the youth's right hand was covered in a green light. Corpse sect. Wang Lin's expression changed. The youth in blue revealed a vicious gaze. Taking advantage of Wang Lin's moment of pause, he waved his hand without hesitation. He then shouted, "5 Ghostian God Wheel." 5 rays of green light came from the youth's hand and became 5 ghosts. They let out mournful cries and then turned into green handprints that shot at Wang Lin. The 5 ghosts revealed ferocious expressions, and an extremely powerful aura spread out and instantly closed in on Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression was neutral as he casually waved his hand. A powerful gust of wind flew at the handprint. The handprint exploded and the 5 ghosts let out miserable screams. Wang Lin took a step forward, his right hand formed a fist, and he mercilessly threw a punch. A rumble echoed and a storm swept by. The youth in blue's face was pale, but he didn't panic. He carefully looked at Wang Lin and then pressed his hands down on the body of the giant demon clan member below him. This giant's body trembled and he revealed a bitter expression. Then his hands formed a seal and he pointed up as his voice echoed. Giant demon clan's bloodline ability. After he spoke, the giant's body trembled and a crack appeared between his eyebrows. A ghostly light also appeared, but it didn't attack Wang Lin. Instead, it wrapped around the youth in blue. Then a vortex appeared behind the youth. The vortex appeared without any warning and there were no suction force coming from it. However, the youth in blue immediately stepped into the vortex. Giant demon clan's bloodline ability. Wang Lin let out a cold snort and then swung his right fist. A storm even more powerful rumbled and then charged at the youth in the vortex. Just at this moment, the giant demon clan member clenched his teeth and the origin energy in his body reversed. This caused his origin soul to become unstable and made the origin soul and body unbalanced. As the origin energy rushed into his origin soul, he withstood the pain and then his origin soul exploded. The explosion of the origin soul formed a destructive force and immediately affected his entire body. Then his body exploded too. This explosive force rushed out, but it didn't scatter. Instead, all of it went straight toward Wang Lin. This destructive force swept by like a powerful storm in an attempt to stop Wang Lin. Behind the destructive force was the fading vortex and the sneer of the youth in blue. "I don't care who you are, I'll find your name. You will die for provoking the corpse sect." The young man in blue spoke gloomily as his figure gradually disappeared. Wang Lin's expression was calm. The moment the force of the man exploding swept toward him, he slapped his bag of holding and the third god-slaying war chariot he hadn't used for a long time flew out. It turned into a very beautiful butterfly with a bang. The five-colored butterfly was very beautiful, and as it flapped its wings, they released five-colored powder. There was also a blood sparrow next to it. This blood sparrow belonged to Blood God. But it was captured by the five-colored butterfly. The five-colored butterfly flew out and its left wing gently flapped. The storm sweeping toward it suddenly trembled. The five-colored butterfly's left wing flapped again. The power of law appeared and the destructive shockwave was pushed back. It was as if a pair of large, invisible hands had forced it back. The third time the five-colored butterfly's left wing flapped, 3 more butterflies appeared, and they also flapped their wings. The destruction force sped up and it rushed toward the rapidly shrinking vortex. Just as the vortex was about to disappear, the destructive force and that sliver of law from the five-colored butterfly penetrated the vortex. A miserable scream echoed from inside the vortex and then the vortex disappeared. In the Alliance star system, there was a sea of souls that no outsider knew about. There were large amounts of land floating within this sea of souls. On one of the islands, there were many buildings. A vortex suddenly appeared next to one of the tall, black buildings. The moment the vortex appeared, there were sounds of explosions and a large amount of blood sprayed out. The origin soul of the young man in blue flew out from the vortex. It looked as if he was about to collapse at any moment. Just at this instant, the door of the building suddenly opened, revealing an old man with a very gloomy expression. He was simply too fast and directly grabbed the origin soul. "Grandpa, save me!" The blue-robed young man, who could barely open his eyes, uttered these words before going into a coma. His origin soul gradually dissipated. Although it didn't collapse, it was extremely weak. Wang Lin frowned. He could feel that the moment the power from the five-colored butterfly entered the vortex and attacked the youth, there was a flash of black light that dissolved the majority of the force. Although this black light collapsed, the youth in blue was only seriously injured, not dead. Life-saving treasure. As Wang Lin pondered, he walked toward Lei Ji. Looking at the green light coming from his joints, he pressed down his right hand at each spot. Every time his fingers landed, the green light would turn into a soul fragment and disappear. A moment later, there was no more green light on Lei Ji's body. Lei Ji let out a sigh of relief and looked at Wang Lin with respect. Lei Ji's giant body turned into a mountain and flew through the stars. Wang Lin sat on his back, and beside Wang Lin was the big-headed boy, who was healing. They were getting closer and closer to planet Chen Yun. 10 days later, Wang Lin looked at the familiar space before him. He knew that not far away was the area that belonged to the rank 7 cultivation country of Chen Yun. During these 10 days, he was thinking about what he should do during this trip to planet Chen Yun. However, even more so, he was pondering over the hand seals esteemed Xian Bao had used with the 4-colored butterflies. Back then, he carefully memorized the hand seals, but no matter how many times he tried them during these 10 days, he felt nothing. At this moment, Wang Lin stood up and looked ahead. He slowly said, "Big Head, you and Lei Ji go find an abandoned planet. Hide yourselves and wait for me. If I'm fine, I'll let you two come. If you hear no news from me, then the two of you quickly leave this place." With that, Wang Lin's body flickered and he left Lei Ji's back. He moved forward with his white robe and his flowing, black hair, which made him look very much like a celestial. As he walked, Wang Lin once more stepped into planet Chen Yun's sphere of influence. This trip is a blessing and disaster, however, there are some things that must be done. Besides, this crisis might not be as difficult to resolve as I thought. In truth, all of it had to do with the Celestial Cave token. Wang Lin slowly moved forward as he pondered. All of them want that Celestial Cave token. The token, the matter with Blood God, the Allseer's scheme, and various other things forced me to leave. Back then, my cultivation was too weak and I had no power to resist. I stood no chance against the Allseer. Even though I still can't stand up to the Allseer, it will not be so easy for him to kill me. Wang Lin touched the spot between his eyebrows. His real ace was not his magical treasure or spells, but the third eye between his eyebrows. After viewing the second battle scroll, I gained another sliver of source origin energy. This is my real life-saving spell. After all, the Allseer and I haven't publicly turned against each other. I'm still a disciple of the Allseer. In addition, what's more important is that Huanglong said I'm a person of planet Suzaku. A disciple of the Vermilion Bird branch of the Four Divine Sect. This is something worth pondering. Wang Lin revealed a sneer and pressed down between his eyebrows. The third eye immediately appeared between his eyebrows and then was replaced by the ancient god stars. Soon, a bead appeared, then all of it disappeared, leaving only a red mark that gave off trace of heat. If it wasn't for the fact that Master Flame's Spark gave me enough origin energy to reach the mid-stage of Nirvana Scryer once my domain reached a certain level, and the fact that I obtained the inheritance from Lu Chen to become a 5-star Royal Ancient God, I wouldn't have even noticed this extra mark on me. This mark contains the power of the world. When my divine sense gathers on it, I hear the faint cry of the Vermilion Bird. I didn't have this when I went back to planet Suzaku, so based on this, it must be related to sect head Huanglong. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. The Vermilion Bird mark on his forehead flickered and he charged forward. Planet Chen Yun appeared in the distance in Wang Lin's eyes. Looking at the familiar planet, he couldn't help but sigh. He could never forgot how he came directly here after leaving planet Suzaku and was accepted as a disciple of the Purple Division. In a flash, hundreds of years have passed. Wang Lin shook his head and walked forward. When I first came here, I was only a soul transformation cultivator. The second time I'm here, I can battle Nirvana cleanser cultivators. Wang Lin moved forward but was surprised. He immediately stopped and stared at planet Chen Yun ahead. He saw flashes of golden light above planet Chen Tun. They were rays of sword energy that were stacked together. After taking a closer look, they were all gathered above the Heavenly Fate sect on planet Chen Yun. Ling Qianhu. Wang Lin's expression changed when he felt Ling Qianhu's aura among those flying swords. After pondering for a bit, Wang Lin didn't stop and flew forward. Outside the Heavenly Fate sect, countless rays of sword energy filled the sky as if there was a sword storm. There was a cultivator on every single sword, and they were all disciples of the Da Lu sword sect. Before him was a fierce red Chileen. This Chileen was extremely fierce and its eyes were like lightning. Endless flames came from its body and 2 streams of hot air came out of its nostrils. On its back sat a skinny old man with a gloomy expression. This old man had 4 illusionary swords behind him. They gave off a powerful aura as they flickered. He was Ling Qianhu. Aside from this old man, there were 4 more cultivators that seemed to be very powerful. Of the 4 of them, 3 were men and 1 was a woman. The 3 men were all old men with white hair, and their eyes were like the sun and moon. One of them was wearing a black and white robe with a yin and yang pattern. His expression revealed nothing as he calmly sat on a giant gourd. Behind him were 9 people. These 9 people were clearly his disciples, as they floated respectfully behind him. The other old man was very large, as if he was a meat mountain. He sat on a purple bamboo chair being carried by 4 big, shining fellows. The third old man was wearing a yellow robe and was as skinny as a corpse, but his body gave off a powerful sense of vitality. He had no followers and he stood alone in the sky with an indifferent expression. The final person was a woman. She was younger, middle-aged. This middle-aged woman didn't dress up. Her clothes were very ordinary, as if she was just a woman from a village among mortals. However, she gave off an earthly aura from her body. Behind her were 4 women. They were all very beautiful and their beauty could be considered unsurpassed. This was especially true of the woman in the left, who was wearing a pink dress and was stunning. They attracted the gazes of a majority of the Da Lu sword sect cultivators, but the 4 women paid them no attention and calmly looked ahead. Ling Qianhu said, "Allseer, Back then your disciple Wang Lin took the token, and afterward you said that a mystery of the heavens will be revealed today. This old man wants to see what your so-called mystery of the heavens is. Back then, these old monsters all sent greed to find Wang Lin. However, no more news of this matter came back, and a majority of the seals they left on greed had disappeared. The matter at the demon spirit land was very crucial, so the old monsters had come looking for the Allseer because they were anxious. After all, Wang Lin was someone from the Heavenly Fate sect. Back then, the Allseer had a calm expression and only said one sentence. When green and purple light fills the sky, you all can come to my Heavenly Fate sect and see the mystery of the heavens. Early this morning, the originally clear sky above planet Chen Yun was suddenly shrouded by green and purple. The colors were gorgeous and seemed to color the entire planet. Then Ling Qianhu immediately came here with his disciples. At the same time, several old monsters who knew of this matter rushed over to the Heavenly Fate sect. After all, the Allseer's divination ability was famous in the Alliance. The Allseer, who was wearing white, calmly stood in the sky. Beside him were the Heavenly Fate disciples that all looked into the sky with cold gazes. However, what they looked at even more were the four beautiful women. He is here. The Allseer's expression was calm and he calmly smiled. His gaze fell on the horizon. After the Allseer finished speaking, Ling Qianhu, the three powerful old monsters, and the beautiful woman immediately noticed something. At this instant, all the cultivators' gazes gathered on the horizon. The four women behind the middle-aged woman didn't even blink and stared intently. I don't know what Wang Lin, the one that shook the demon spirit land and caught the attention of all the great cultivators of all heaven, looks like. The eyes of woman in the pink dress were filled with curiosity. Not only her, but the other three beautiful women also looked into the sky with their pretty eyes. Wang Lin's fame had almost become a taboo over the years. However, the more it was a taboo, the more rumors about Wang Lin spread. Above the Heavenly Fate sect square, Bai Wei looked up at the sky with a complex feeling. He found it difficult to imagine what that person from back then had become. There was a gloomy middle-aged man beside Bai Wei. He wore a purple robe and his gaze was like lightning. He looked at the sky and let out a cold snort in his heart. Wang Lin. Even though you didn't die during these years, you couldn't have ascended too much. I just don't know how much weaker you are compared to me, Zhao Xingxia. Bai Wei cautiously looked at the middle-aged man and felt dread toward this senior brother. Zhao Xingxia's cultivation had advanced a lot during his closed-door cultivation. He had broken through Ascendant and was only one step away from Illusory Yin. Zhao Xingxia became one of the 7 true disciples of the Allseer 30 years ago. He had a feud with Wang Lin, so when they meet, it will be difficult for him to not have killing intent. There was also a woman beside the two of them. Her expression was down. Although she was looking at the sky, it was as if she had no interest in anything. This woman was the 4th disciple of the Purple Division, Wang Lin's 4th senior apprentice sister. Back then, she was forced by Zhong Xingxia to trap Wang Lin with a spell. Later, Wang Lin escaped and she taught Wang Lin greater teleportation to resolve their enmity. In the distance, there was a youth who looked about 30 years old. He wore a blue shirt with 3 blue dragons embroidered on it. These 3 dragons were extremely fierce and lifelike, especially their eyes, which gave off fierce gazes and were breathtaking to look at. If Wang Lin saw this person, he wouldn't find him unfamiliar. He was the person that worked with Wang Lin's 4th senior apprentice sister to trap him. The Blue Division's Sima Rufeng. Inside the Heavenly Fate sect, everyone who knew Wang Lin all had their own thoughts. However, no one believed he would be able to leave alive if he were to appear here today. As everyone's gazes gathered on the horizon, a white figure appeared in the horizon and slowly walked over. His black hair flowed in the wind, and under the flashes of sunlight, there was a hint of purple in it. His white robe gave him the air of a celestial, and it looked like white snow was arriving. A feeling of 1,000 years of lonely twilight appeared from his figure. He just slowly approached like this, and behind him was the fiery red sun. This made his face dark, only his bright eyes that revealed 1,000 years of wisdom could be seen. This scene was very beautiful. At first the figure was very far away, but in just an instant, it was outside the Heavenly Fate sect. Wang Lin. Wang Lin. In an instant, several people recognized Wang Lin. So he is Wang Lin. The woman in pink's beautiful eyes landed on the figure in white. Ling Ting, whose eyes were like lightning and contained a powerful sword energy. The moment he saw Wang Lin, he frowned. Although his expression was still gloomy, there was a trace of shock in his eyes. Early stage Nirvana Scryer. This Wang Lin was only at the soul transformation stage, and in just a few hundred years, he has unexpectedly reached such heights. Unless he encountered great fortunes, it would be impossible for this to happen. There is also that mark between his eyebrows. The shock set off a huge wave in Ling Qianho's heart. The old man that was like a meat mountain suddenly opened his eyes. His eyes shined brightly as he stared at Wang Lin with disbelief. The expression of the old man, as skinny as a corpse, also changed, and he gave Wang Lin a profound look. He then looked at the Allseer and revealed an expression that made it seem like he had realized something. As for the old man wearing the black and white robe sitting on the gourd, he unexpectedly revealed a smile. However, there was a flash of a ghostly light in his eyes, so it was impossible to see what he was thinking. The vermilion bird mark? The middle-aged woman was surprised and carefully looked at Wang Lin. If these old monsters were like this, then there's no need to mention the surrounding cultivators. Not many of them could see through Wang Lin's cultivation, but they could all feel a pressure coming from Wang Lin's body. The woman in pink looked at Wang Lin with her beautiful eyes and revealed a hint of interest. All of this sounds slow, but it all happened the moment Wang Lin appeared, and the expressions of everyone landed in his eyes. He patted his clothes as he calmly looked at the Allseer, then he clasped his hands and respectfully said, "Disciple Wang Lin greets master." The Allseer's eyes revealed a strange light as he stared at the mark between Wang Lin's eyebrows. After a long time, he revealed a smile and kindly said, "It's good that you returned. Wang Lin, these seniors want to ask you something and you must answer truthfully." A middle-aged man behind Wang Lin pointed at him and shouted, "Little brat Wang Lin, you actually dared to come back. Back then, you killed members of my Da Lu sword sect in the demon spirit land. Today is when you pay in blood." Wang Lin revealed a smile, but his eyes were as cold as ice. He coldly looked at the middle-aged man and calmly said, "Senior Ling Qianhu, does this disciple of yours have the qualifications to speak to me like this?" Ling Qianho's expression was extremely gloomy as he stared at the mark between Wang Lin's eyebrows. Although he feared the vermilion bird mark somewhat, what really shocked him were the other two powers between Wang Lin's eyebrows. What kind of fortune did this Wang Lin encounter in these hundreds of years? It's as if he was reborn. While he pondered, Ling Qianhu waved his sleeves, causing the middle-aged man who was shouting at Wang Lin to tremble and get pushed back into the group of cultivators. Ling Qianho's voice was chilly as he slowly said, "He indeed doesn't have the qualifications to speak to you like this. To be able to reach the early stage of Nirvana Scryer at your age, if we let go of our enmity, even this old man admires you." His words set off a huge wave. It was no different from throwing water into boiling oil. This caused the expressions of all the surrounding cultivators to change. Bai Wei gasped and stared at Wang Lin. His mind was blank. He couldn't believe how Wang Lin, who was only at the soul transformation stage hundreds of years ago, had become a Nirvana Scryer cultivator who he could only view as a legend. Nirvana Scryer. As for Zhao Xingxia, his body trembled as he couldn't believe what he had heard. He was startled on the spot. It wasn't just the two of them, almost all the other cultivators were the same. After all, this was just too unbelievable. This Wang Lin has actually reached the Nirvana Scryer stage. Although there is still a gap between him and us, he is still someone who has achieved a lot and can no longer be looked at as a junior. The old man on the gourd smiled and said, "Wang Lin, I want to ask, why did you escape through the vortex before us back then? Did you do something you didn't want us to know about?" Wang Lin's expression was neutral as he calmly said, "Junior did indeed cause a calamity in the demon spirit land, so I had to leave." The eyes of the skinny old man shined and he coldly asked, "What calamity?" Wang Lin calmly said, "In self-defense, Junior had to trap Blood Ancestor's daughter. When fellow seniors came with Blood Ancestor, Junior naturally had to escape." After he spoke, the old man who had the body of a mountain of flesh sat up and said, is the Celestial Cave token in your hands? I wonder who Senior heard this from. Wang Lin looked at the old man that was like a mountain of flesh. This person was only at the early stage of Nirvana Scrya, and moreover, Wang Lin didn't remember this person among the people that pursued him. The old man's mind trembled from Wang Lin's gaze. His expression changed and there was a flash of disbelief in his eyes. The Allseer's expression was still gentle as he slowly said, "Enough, Wang Lin. Teacher is asking you if the Celestial Cave token in your hands." Wang Lin looked at the Allseer and respectfully said, "Since teacher asked, disciple doesn't dare to conceal it." Back in the demon spirit land, disciple indeed obtained a Celestial Cave token. After Wang Lin spoke, the old monster's eyes lit up and they began to silently ponder. Then an oppressive aura spread out and gathered on Wang Lin. The old man sitting on the good looked at the mark between Wang Lin's eyebrows and said, "Wang Lin, take out the token and you can keep your life." The old man with the mountain of flesh body revealed a hostile gaze and gloomily said, "You aren't qualified to have that Celestial Cave token." Without waiting for Wang Lin to speak, killing intent flashed across Ling Qianho's eyes. He slowly said, "Since we know the token is in his hands, why waste time?" He let out a cold snort and pointed with his right finger. A heaven-shaking ray of sword energy shot toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression was calm. When the sword energy arrived, he retreated a few steps and threw a punch. This punch caused a sonic boom, and the rumbling was earth-shaking. A black vortex appeared from Wang Lin's fist and collided with Ling Qianho's sword energy. Just at this instant, the Allseer's eyes lit up and he waved his right sleeve. A seven-colored wind flew forth and landed between Ling Qianho and Wang Lin. This seven-colored wind contained a mysterious power. When it blew by, it caused the black vortex from Wang Lin's fist to dissipate. While it dissolved Wang Lin's power, it also blocked Ling Qianho's sword energy. This gently dissolved everything. Ling Qianho, to attack my Heavenly Fate sect disciple at my Heavenly Fate sect, do you really think I'm not here? The Allseer's voice was gentle as he looked at Ling Qianho. The four origin swords behind Ling Qianho flew out as he stared at the Allseer and shouted, "Allseer, could it be that you want to take the token for yourself?" This video will end here.